And that's like in the old days when I was with MD, I couldn't do photos from Flex or Muscle and Fitness, and I'm like, why not? I said, if I'm an MD athlete, if I was in another magazine, that looks good for you. If I'm in Muscle and Fitness or Flex magazine, and I'm wearing an muscular development tank top and shit like that, that's good for you. People go, muscular development, I'll check that magazine out and stuff like that. But you can only do it with us, so it just limited, you know, what the athletes could do and stuff. So.
But even then, at least they were paying you.
Yeah.
Whereas you're paying the...
But the thing is, too, even if you got in one, it's like, even if you weren't doing it, like I'd get in trouble where I could be at a contest and say, like, I was just backstage like this. And when you're backstage, you're at a public place, anyone can take photos. So the Flex magazine people take photos of me, even if I'm pumping up. I'm in a public space pumping up. Magazine comes out. Flex magazine will have me doing a barbell curl and they'll put an article with it. Then they get mad at me. I'm like, I didn't give them permission. I'm in a public area doing barbell curls. And they'll put, you know, Lee does 6 sets for biceps, blah, blah, blah. They use the photos backstage and then they're like, Lee, why they go? I said, well, I can't do nothing about it. I can't stop them if I'm in a public place. It's not like I set up a photo shoot.
Yeah,
it's silly.
Yeah, no, well, look, hopefully... Nabba can get back on track.
I think it will
in Australia and give bodybuilders a bit more of a chance to compete and hopefully around the world.
Get some good teams going overseas and that again.
But all
we're not going to be like these organisations, something we have here now, where everyone gets a pro card. It's like Nabba, they got a high standard overseas still. And like if we have a show here in Australia, it might say, if it says, you know, a pro card will be given away to the overall winner. Sure, there's going to be an overall winner, but if we see the overall winner and we know what the standard is at the universe, we're not going to give you a pro card and say, okay, you're the overall winner, here's your pro card, off you go to represent us, because you're representing Australia. And if you're not up to standard, and like I said, you go overseas, you've got those big European guys, and here's an Australian guy come out, you're like, that's the best Australia's got. So, you know, you've got to be, like I said, even though it might advertise you're going to get a pro card, if you're not going up to that standard of, I just don't want to get someone a pro card and say, off you go have experience, represent us. I want you to go over there and be competitive and, you know, put Australia on the map again as being, you know, a top nation for bodybuilding and stuff. So you wouldn't just do it in any other thing. Oh, okay, you ran, 15 seconds? Off you go to the Olympics. You'll be right. You might come last, but you'll have fun running around.
Just the old Eric the Eel.
Or what's now when the guy did Bradbury when everyone else fell over and he crossed the line.
Oh, at least he won a gold medal. But I remember Eric the Eel, the guy that couldn't swim.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you remember that other one? The other movie, Eddie the Eagle. From England. That was a good movie with Hugh Jackman, remember? Worst no skier ever. He went and had fun. They'd send him over because they never had a skier before and people got behind him. But it was a bit of fun and stuff. But really, when you get to bodybuilding, if you're saying, listen, we're going to give you a pro card to go to the Mr. Universe, we're talking Mr. Universe, which has that prestige about it. Still, it's one of the longest running shows. Look at all the greats that have won it, even Lee Priest. It's like, you got to be at that standard where you're going to be competitive and get over there and people are going to go, wow, look at that guy from Australia. So, and two, I think you'd want to be that level yourself when you're going over to the universe. Yes, I don't want to go over there and be a stage fella standing on stage like, I competed in the universe. Well, how'd you do? Well, no good, but I competed in it. You know, be like me just going to the NBA. Oh, how'd you do? I'm shit, but you know, I'm on the court running around like an idiot.
No, but you know, for people that aren't familiar, you sort of touched on it before, that like they're another revenue stream, so there is incentive for promoters I'm not naming federations to hand them out because
look at it now, there's so many classes and divisions, whereas before I have people come up to me now, or even look on social media, they'll have like pro in their name, and I joke about it, and I always say, listen, if you've got to put pro in your name and tell someone you're a pro, or I'll go to expos and someone goes, oh, such and such, I'm a pro. I look at them, I'm like, you know, back in my day, when somebody was a pro, it was female or male, you knew. You could just look at them and go, fuck, he's got to be a pro, that guy. Look at him. Now you get people saying they're pro, you're like, what, fucking darts? It's like, no, physique. I'm like, you look like any other guy at the beach. But it's like, you know, just, like you said, it's a big money thing now. If you've got thousands of people with pro cards and everyone's paying $350 a year and so just for the pro card, and stuff like that. It adds up. You look at all these organisations that have thousands and thousands of athletes. I don't know, I think was it when Matt even did the amateur of the Arnold Classic. I think by the time he paid his entry fee and this and that, and then they threw out that was the first year they threw in the I'm not sure if they still international passport. The IFBB international passport. I think there was like 350 or 400 competitors. All had to pay $40 because it was an international show for this international passport, and it had to be cash, two $20 bills.
And they stipulated two $20 bills?
And they're just cash, had to be cash, so that's what most people get from the cash machine, $20. So see if you get 400 people all paying $40 each. Or you couldn't compete if you didn't have it. And then it just so happened the following year, the show was a week later, so your passport had run out, you had to go.
Oh, and was it an actual document?
I think they had like a little booklet thing.
Handwritten?
Take it to the airport and see how far you get. Do you have your passport?
Yeah, no.
My IFBB international passport.
Yeah, or try and if you're 21 or something.
Go open a bank account with it.
No, can I see your ID? And then pull out your
IFBB international passport. They were like, what the fuck's that?
Well, I think the value of a pro card in the past could be worked out by those guys that didn't get them. Like in America, guys that won, the top in the amateurs over there, like they were amazing.
And there's so many guys that never got a pro card that today would probably be a top pro.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see so many guys like he should have been pro, but he just kept missing out for some reason, due to politics or whatever. But yeah, there was a lot of them. Even Edgar Fletcher comes to mind as one guy that should have had a pro card, and there was so. But even back then too, it was like pro cards too in the bodybuilding. Majority of them were like mid-20s, early 20s turning pro. Now it's like they're older or they look older and they're like in their 30s turning pro. You don't see these young freaks coming out anymore. I don't know what's going on.